So I decided to change the scenery a little bit and do a video in Valemion's customization area. Yeah, just to kind of spice things up. But this video is gonna be about vendors. So I've gathered so many vendors for you guys. And what I decided that I'm gonna do is to keep things organized is in this video, I'm gonna be talking about 50 women's clothing vendors. In the next video, I'm gonna be talking about 50 more women's clothing vendors. And in the last video I make today, I'm going to be talking about men's clothing vendors, okay? There's going to be more vendors I'm going to be sharing along the way, not just clothing, but to keep things organized, the topic for this specific video is going to be women's clothing vendors. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the website on the bottom of the screen so that you guys can easily write it down or notate it if you're interested in the vendor. But you're gonna want to watch through this whole video because as I show the vendors, I'm gonna be talking about specific notes on them. So for example, some vendors are Fashion Nova vendors, some vendors are recommended by other clothing store owners, and etc. So in order to get the full benefit of this video, you're gonna want to watch the entire thing, okay, without skipping through it. All right, so without further ado, let's get started.
Please note that none of these vendors are recommended vendors by me personally. I own a designer handbag store and have never tried any of these vendors. This list was gathered from personal research done for you all, and it includes recommended vendors from other store owners. My goal is to provide you with a list to make it easier for you guys to narrow your search and find the right vendors for your store. For the best results, please notate the vendors you're interested in on this list and do additional research on them before making your purchase. Now it's time to begin. So the first vendor we're going to be looking at is andrebyunit.com. This is a women's clothing vendor and they also have plus size available. I'm just scrolling through the first page of the site so that you guys can kind of get an idea of how their styles look, all right? And during this video, I'm not going to be talking too much, but as promised, I will be stating my notes, okay? The second vendor is Atlantic.com. They kind of have men and women's workout clothing. So if you're interested in that for your business, here's a vendor for that you may like. All right. And most of these vendors, you do have to have a seller's permit. So yes, be sure to sign up for that as soon as you can to access most of these vendors. All right, just scrolling down. Alrighty, now the third vendor is authenticmanufacturing.com, okay? This is a wholesale vendor and they sell women's swimwear, okay? It looks like they also have plus size available. And these are the styles that you can find on that site. All right, scrolling down on. Now, the fourth vendor is apparelcandy.com. They have women's clothing and accessories, and they also have plus size available. Now, this is not the first page of the site, but I did want to show you guys what some of the clothing that is available on the site. But if you go there, you'll see a variety of different things on this site, okay? This is just the dress section of the site that I went to. Okay, and then the fifth vendor is agropacific.com. They have women's, men's, and kids swimwear. The sixth vendor is americanbazzy.com. It's a women's clothing vendor. They also have plus size available, and this is like a Fashion Nova / Pretty Little Thing vendor. All right, and that's what I heard from the information I heard. Now, the seventh vendor is blvdstyle.com. If you go on their site, they don't have much, but if you go on their Instagram, you'll get a better idea of the styles that they have available. So this is blvdstyle.com vendor, all right? So we're moving along. And some of these vendors, okay, I'll say that later. The eighth vendor is bellawholesale.com. They have women's clothing and they also have plus size available. And they have a lot of trendy items, okay? So you may like that for your store. Now, what I did want to say previously is originally I was only going to show vendors that I would personally go to, but I decided to show all the vendors that I've gathered because everyone has different tastes and has different things they like. So why not just show you guys every single vendor? And I have a lot more coming as promised originally. So this is just 50 and there's another 50 that will be coming as well. So you guys can see a lot of variety and select what's best for your personal store. All right. So the 9th vendor is beulastyle.com. Okay, and this is a women's clothing vendor. And this is how the front page looks like. Some of these vendors don't show a lot of pictures, but if you reach out, there should be a way for them to show you some of their items as well. And this is the wholesale page where you can make a wholesale inquiry, okay? Some of the websites are easy to find. Their wholesale page, and some of them are a little more challenging. It's not just on the front page. But with this site, I was able to find some of the clothing styles that they have. Just ignore the price because this is probably just their public price. But then if you're interested in wholesale and you reach out to them, you'll get a wholesale price. All right, scrolling on down. All right, so the 10th vendor is blueblushclothing.com. They have women's clothing. Once you click an image, it will take you to the wholesale. All right, and when you click it, this is the wholesale section that you're gonna see. Wholesale sign up. Okay, the 11th vendor is belitacollection.com, women's clothing and swimwear. All right, the 12th vendor is blvaapparel.com, women's and men's clothing. And here's the front page as well. All right. I'm only showing you guys the front page, so hopefully it shows you guys some of the styles that you may be interested in. The 13th vendor is bloomwholesale.com. They have women's clothing. They also have plus size available, and they seem to also do drop shipping, okay? So if you're interested in drop shipping, this is one vendor that you may be interested in contacting for that. The 14th vendor is citygoddess.co.uk. They have women's clothing, and I would suggest opening this vendor through Google because for some reason when I put the direct URL in, it doesn't take me in, so I had to go through Google. And these are the styles that they have on their website, okay? So it looks like a lot more dressy kind of styles. All right, I'm going into dresses now to show you guys a little bit more. Don't know what the holdup is. Okay, there it is. I almost thought my thing was frozen. Okay, show you guys some of the dresses. Alrighty, so let's just scroll down a bit. So these look more dressy as well. Alrighty, some gowns up in there. Yeah, it's very dressy items, okay? So if that's what you want for your store, here's a vendor for you. Okay, so the 15th vendor is chinadolls.com, women's swimwear and accessories. All right, so the 16th vendor is saysfemi.com, women's clothing, and they also have plus size available with this vendor. Okay, see tops, bottoms, outerwear. Okay, and some of the other styles that they have available. I see that. Okay, so the next 17th vendor is dearlover.com. They have women's clothing. I also see that they have plus size available. I saw the button just now. Okay, so if you're interested in these styles, that's a vendor for you there. Okay, and I'm seeing some of the prices are really low, like $8 something, $7 something. So definitely something you may be interested in. Now, I'm not sure if you need a license for this one particularly because they're showing like the direct price of an item, but you just, if you're interested, just go on the website and check it out. Okay, so the 18th vendor is dresshead.com. They have women's clothing available, dresses, jumpsuits, pants, shorts, skirts, t-shirts, tops, and etc. This one is another one that I'm not sure if you're gonna need a reseller license for. But as stated already, if you're interested in these styles, I would definitely go check out their site and see if you do. All right, so the 19th vendor is dearfashion.com, and it's a women's swimwear vendor. All right, seeing a lot of pretty styles over there. Over there. Okay, so the 20th vendor is doll.com, women's swimwear. And I don't know if I've already stated this, but this vendor list will have general clothing, will have swimwear, will have lingerie, and a variety of different types of clothing. So, all right. Now the 21st vendor is Dobbikins. I believe I pronounced that right. So women's clothing, activewear, and swimwear. And there's no reseller license required for this vendor, okay? I don't know why the title says CHMD dear or something, but it's actually Dobbikins.com. If you go on the bottom of the site, you'll see it. Okay, so the vendor number 22 is DippinDaisySwimwear.com, a women's swimwear vendor. All right, they also have other clothing as well. So it's not just women's swimwear. Okay. Now, vendor number 23 is DiosAUSA.com, women's clothing, and this is a Fashion Nova vendor. All right. The 24th vendor is DorcasUSA.com, women's clothing. They have plus size, and according to some research done, this is a Press Atlanta vendor. Oh my gosh, is this another vendor already? I was looking at my notes. You guys, what number is this one? Oh gosh. We'll see. Okay, yeah, I'm good. So vendor number 25 is elegantmomentslingerie.com, women's lingerie vendor. Vendor number 26 is ncream.com or creme, you know the deal. Women's clothing vendor. All right, these are some of the styles they have available. Okay, vendor number 27 is evewholesale.com, women's clothing vendor. And it looks like they have plus size available as well. I just saw a picture. It looked like they do. So if you're interested in that, you might want to check them out. And they may not require a reseller's license, but I would go and check because sometimes when the sites just show the prices like this and they're very low, sometimes they don't require it, but I would definitely go verify if you're interested. All right, so we're scrolling on down the side. Okay, so the 28th vendor is eroswholesale.com, men's, women, and kids swimwear. It worked on the phone, but not on the computer when I tried to put it in. So this may be another one that you need to use Google for if you're interested in getting swimwear. All right, just scrolling down so you guys can see some of the pieces, and it also shows you the price, the case amount, and etc. So if that's a price you like and you like the style, here's the vendor for you. So the 29th vendor is ezena.com, women's clothing. This is actually a popular vendor and it's affordable according to the research I've done from another seller said so. Okay, so the 30th vendor is njeanwholesale.com, women's jeans, plus size is also available. Vendor number 31 is fashionbella.com. Women's clothing, beauty, and accessories are available on with this vendor. Okay, and I just went to the dress section. I love dresses, so just to show you guys some of the styles, but that's not the home page. So, all right, so the next vendor is foreveryoungswimwear.com. Women's clothing and swimwear. Okay. All right. Scrolling on down. Forever young. I wanna be forever young. And this is the wholesale page for this vendor. Okay, so the next vendor is fashiontiy.com. Fashion tea. You guys just spare me. Okay. It's men's, kids, and women's clothing and accessories for this vendor. All right. I'm just scrolling down, show you guys how the page looks. Okay, vendor number 34 is goodstuffapparel.com, women's clothing and accessories. This is how the items look. And it kind of tells you the unit price and just gives you information on how much a stock would be, or a case, I guess. Okay, vendor number 35 is girlmary.com, women's clothing, and there's also drop shipping available with this vendor. And it doesn't seem to require a resale license to shop here, okay? Okay, vendor number 36 is G1Kclothing.com, women's clothing, and there's also plus size available. All right, see different styles over there. All right, vendor number 37 is GLeeClothing.com, women's clothing, and there's also plus size available with this vendor. Okay, vendor number 38 is heartandhips.com, women's clothing, and this is actually a Fashion Nova vendor according to research. All right, I see some of their best sellers. I see some tops. I see some dresses. I see a bodysuit. See some more dresses. Okay. Vendor number 39 is heracollection.com. It's a women's clothing vendor. New arrivals and bestsellers they featured. Okay. Oh, vendor number 40 is halfheartwholesale.com, women's clothing vendor. Vendor number 41 is hotfox.com, women's clothing, and there's also plus size available. Vendor number 51 is Icerbrands. Oh, nope, wrong thing. Judson.biz. Okay, women's clothing and accessories vendor. I don't know why. Oh, it's okay. I'm not even gonna make a comment. The website URL and the name on the website is different, so kind of threw me off a bit. All right, they seem to have a lot of accessories as stated, but they also have women's clothing. So I'm trying to see, okay, I went to the clothing section to kind of show you guys more of the clothing that they have available. Okay, so, because I think I was seeing more of the accessories when I was just on the home page. So here's some clothing. They seem to have more like basics and stuff like that. Okay, vendor number 43 is JUNIClothing.com. Here are their styles. Okay. They also have a store location, I see. Okay, vendor number 44 is K2USA.com. It's women's clothing. They have a lot of trendy pieces, and it's a Fashion Nova vendor. All right, vendor number 45 is LAShowroom.com. They have women's clothing, as seen. Okay, some of their styles right there, too. Vendor number 46 is LAVintage.com. Women and men clothing. So it's more vintage, like jeans, jean material, items with jean materials, and I see pants, and I see different things. Almost done. Ooh. Okay, so vendor number 47 is lingeriemark.com, women's lingerie. Vendor number 48, lingerose.com. Oh my gosh, hold on, sorry. Vendor 49 is gtwholesale.com, women's clothing. They seem to have a lot of trendy items as well. And I see that they also have, looks like they have plus size as well. And the last vendor is capellaapparel.com. It's women's clothing. They have plus size available, and a store owner actually recommended this one. All right, so capellaapparel.com. Okay, we're all done, but here are some bloopers. This is me trying to adjust my hair before the video and get everything ready, because the struggle was real, okay? Little fun fact about me, I'm more of an introvert, so being on camera is not my forte, but I'm trying for you guys. I was leaning back trying to relax, and then I was trying to fix my hair, and then I was like, I'm too relaxed, so let me lean forward. But I was finally done, and I was happy, so then I did a dance. Stay tuned for more.
I think I did a good job. Let's get started now. Yeah, yeah.